I'm here with Dimitri de Jonghe, Application Director at BigchainDB. Dimitri, what do you do as an Application Director?
As an application director, you kind of steer the world of applications on top of your substrate that you're building. You're basically eating your own dog food.
Okay, that sounds interesting. Now, one of the things that still puzzles me about BigchainDB, that it is blockchain, but it also sounds like a database. So how is it a blockchain? How is it a database?
Yeah. So BigchainDB by itself is more a mission and a vision about decentralizing data, and the technology that we use to leverage it is a mix between big data and blockchain consensus, and also the transactional layer, Merkleized crypto structure. We all try to use the best of breed to create something that can support a fully decentralized data economy.
Okay, so do you have your own technology for this, or are you piggybacking on other?
So it would be beautiful if we only had to piggyback on others, and that would be amazing. And for that we use Interledger. Interledger as our UTXO crypto layer, which is a very nice protocol, has been developed by Ripple together with us and others, and growing. So that's in the community, that's one thing. The data substrate itself comes from MongoDB, RethinkDB, other database vendors. Mm-hmm. And now what we do is we blockchainify it, meaning we add a secondary consensus. Currently we're working together with Tendermint to make it fully BFT. And we have a lot of stuff related to deployment, optimization of the transaction throughput, Kubernetes, Dockerizing it, and of course a lot of documentation.
All right. So you were here last year at the Technical Deep Dive. What kind of milestones have you seen happen in the last year?
Oh, so many. But related to exactly this context, last year when I was at the hackathon, many of the questions were, how do we spin up a node, Hyperledger, Ethereum, BigChain? How do we spin up this network? And now it's out of the box. Mm-hmm. Just have an API, you have an identity, and you connect to it. And that goes for Hyperledger, Ethereum, BigChain, and others. So that's a very beautiful development. What you also see is a lot of development tools, making it easy to just do a one-click deploy app. If you can be a full blockchain nitwit and still produce something in 1 hour.
Okay.
And just boilerplate code, spin it up, connects to the network because that's out of the box, and you have something to play with. It's basically working on your IDs rather than fiddling with the technology.
That sounds like an important milestone, but you also introduced the Ocean Protocol.
That's indeed, yeah.
What is the Ocean Protocol about?
Ocean Protocol is all about creating a data availability market and combine it with compute. So we saw a big gap. Big companies silo their data and they put a big moat around it, and nobody can access that data because that's their goal. And you know where they get that data from?
From us, I guess.
From us. Right. We're getting farmed, farms, human data farms. So that was kind of, still got goosebumps. But so in Berlin, there's, and also here and others, there's so many AI startups, machine learning startups working about deep neural networks and other things that are really data hungry. Who has both? Who has a lot of data and a lot of AI experience? Only a few in the world. You have your Google, Ubers, Facebooks, all of that. So they're in an excellent position to create business out of our data. Now, what if we can open up? What if we can have everybody gain control over their data, publish it to a market, whatever kind of market, an IoT market with IOTA would be super awesome, a self-sovereign data market, working on automotive telemetry, city, land registry data. It all can be available and consumable. But then there is one big problem: what data is good, what data is bad, what data is useful, what not. So you need to have that social context, that network around it. And
it's just like the Oracle problem, getting real-world data into a digital domain.
So we're working strongly on something we call curation. Think of it as proof of authority. Think about staking your claims. And then the community can challenge your claims and slash you if you're not behaving well, or if the data was not available, if it's not your data, if it has popped up somewhere else, if it has just a lot of null values or useless values. And then you can create something like data tribes. Think about Reddit, subthreads, and all of that, and then reputation, curation becomes tokenized and incentivized. So we think that could help discovery, availability, as well as secure computation. And that's another beast.
Okay. So is the Ocean Protocol finished? I guess not.
It will never be finished. It will never be finished. What we did start was broadcasting the idea of, look, every data store should be open and connectable at their own level of privacy comfort. And everybody should be able to cast their opinion how they feel about that data or that compute or that result. So for that we work together with TrueBit, AdChain, a lot of the consensus network, also IOTA. We're looking for Hyperledger people, and just also many public instances that say, well, we have an open data policy, just put it on there, one-stop shop. You don't create a monolith, you create a bazaar.
Right.
Everybody can participate in a market.
So that brings me to the ecosystem thinking that surrounds this entire blockchain hackathon and the blockchaingers. How, in your opinion, how is the blockchain ecosystem doing? How is it developing?
There is a lot of clustering and fragmentation. Today I saw that Bitcoin is developing interledger protocol by itself. They don't know they're doing that probably, but they haven't been communicating well. So there's a lot of fragmentation, but what I also see is that there is also a lot of resource pooling. I think personally resource pooling is the full power of public decentralization. Think about vast AI markets, knowledge markets, data markets, machine markets. That's what we did with the hashing power, but maybe we can use it for other utilities. So incentivized communities work really well. They just catalyze. The highly governed communities with threshold to enter and all of that, and politics, that's always going to be a tough one.
Okay. How do you think the next edition of the Blockchain Hackathon can maybe help improving the ecosystem?
So one thing that I want to get out of this personally is make sure that people look beyond what cryptocurrencies do, and steer them towards the 3.0 of blockchain, where we basically collaborate on creating something for the common goods. Steer away from the tragedy of the commons by incentivizing people to do something for common objectives. So just getting that mindset out there, that's already a big paradigm shift. And then also show them, look, many of these things are good as production ready. You don't have to fiddle around anymore and create and develop your own standards. There's so many things off the shelf, and also I'd love to demonstrate that, giving all these APIs and these tools to the blockchaingers, so that they really know that it's something real.
Okay.
And you can do even more than CryptoKitties. Even more.
Even more. That would be interesting. So final question, if somebody's preparing to take part in the upcoming blockchain hackathon, what would your top tips be to be well prepared?
To be well prepared? That's a good one. First of all, make sure you have a heterogeneous team. Don't put 5 Solidity developers next to each other. Have somebody that thinks about the common good, have somebody that thinks about the enterprise, have somebody that knows a bit about the legal, and then mostly front-end stuff. Make something tangible to the end user. So just make sure you have a nice mix of users. And I hope we can provide them enough pointers to what's already out there, what's already being developed, and that they know where to find it, that they can Google their stuff and repurpose.
Repurpose is...
Yeah, and also the coolest thing would be that if a blockchainer finds something that's almost finished in the community open source and not yet there, that he makes a little pull request, improves it, and contributes it back. That would be beautiful.
Awesome, thank you.
Ja.
Dat is een mooie om op te eindigen.
Ja.
Oké, 3 losse vragen. Moet je even niet verwijzen naar de antwoorden die je eerder gaf, want we knippen ze los. En we gebruiken ze in de promotie van de aankomende hackathon. So, first question. According to you, what is the biggest promise that blockchain technology holds for the world?
Pooling resources. Decentralizing the reward function. Steering away from the tragedy of the commons.
What is the most exciting aspect of taking part in a hackathon?
See your technology getting used, get inspired by people using other technologies and combining and mix and matching. The social aspect, the amazing Dutch food.
Okay.
And of course some puns about the championship.
Oh, right. Thank you. This interview is now over. Final question. Given the fact that a hackathon only has so many hours in it, what would you advise teams to focus on during that time?
So we do these 2-3 day hackfests at our company foundation, where we bring the best of breed of an application domain with the technology domain, and we synergize. So upfront, and that's maybe what I should have said in another question, but upfront we choose complementary competences that together make something very useful. So find the people that do very well their own stuff and bring those together and see what happens.